When fame hits its highest point, every move a star makes is put under a microscope. Even the dining table, something most people see as harmless, becomes part of the story. For many of us, the kitchen is the heart of home and family. Aside from the bedroom, of course. But pause for a second. Behind the spotlight, there are things people rarely talk about. Not love affairs or power scandals, but quiet, deeply personal habits, so strange they're shocking once revealed. And oddly enough, that's where the most unexpected truths emerge. In the world of Black celebrities, some eating habits are so unusual, so bizarre, they seem unreal. They're not done for attention or image. They're shaped by pressure, memories, beliefs, and fears that linger long after the cameras turn off. The 13 stories you're about to hear will pull back the curtain on what really happens at their dinner tables. And by the end, you may never look at them the same way again. Eartha Kitt, a global star with a past that never let go. She was a rare icon of stage, film, and music, an artist who rose from nothing to conquer Broadway, Hollywood, and the world's grandest concert halls. With her unmistakable voice, magnetic presence, and fearless individuality, she became unforgettable. But behind the glamour lived a habit that left high society stunned. Eartha Kitt never wasted food. Born in 1927 in South Carolina, she grew up in brutal poverty, where hunger wasn't an abstract idea but a daily reality. As a child, she scavenged leftovers from restaurant trash just to survive. Those memories etched themselves deep into her psyche, and fame never erased them. Even at the height of her success, seated in elegant five-star restaurants with crisp white tablecloths and expensive wine, Kitt would quietly reach for what others left behind. Breadcrumbs, untouched bites, abandoned scraps. Nothing went to waste. Her daughter, Kit Shapiro, later wrote about the deep embarrassment she felt watching her mother do this in elite social circles. The shocked looks and whispered judgments didn't faze Eartha at all. When her daughter finally questioned her, Kit answered simply, "People who've never been hungry would never understand." Few words, but heavy with a lifetime of deprivation. Over time, her daughter recognized it as a classic scarcity mindset. For Eartha Kitt, food wasn't just nourishment, it was survival. Wasting it felt like betraying the child she once was. Eating leftovers wasn't about money, it was a quiet vow that hunger would never return. Until the end of her life, she held on to this habit, even as managers and family gently tried to stop her. Eventually, those closest to her learned to finish every bite on their plates. To outsiders, it seemed strange, even unsettling. But to Eartha Kitt, it was a scar she never hid, a reminder of where she came from, and a testament to a woman who was both dazzlingly glamorous and forever shaped by hardship. Maya Angelou, a Southern poet who startled the modern world with a roots ritual few could understand, eating organ meats with baked clay. A towering voice in American literature, social activism, and pop culture, Angelou reshaped consciences through fearless storytelling, commanding presence, and words that could silence a room. She became far more than a poet. She was a living symbol of history and truth. Yet beyond her passion for language lived another devotion that unsettled many: food. Raised in the American South, Angelou learned early that food was never just fuel. It was memory, identity, survival. She was taught to honor every part of an animal, from head and feet to the organs most people discarded. To her, this wasn't strange, it was ancient wisdom, a way of eating born when people respected what the land provided and wasted nothing. In interviews and writings, she spoke openly about pig's head cheese and organ stews simmered in milk, and most notably, organ dishes eaten with baked clay instead of bread. Those meals carried her back to Southern kitchens where necessity ruled and nothing was thrown away lightly. As society grew more sanitized and selective, her habits drew uneasy stares. At dinners with friends in London, food debates turned sharp, her clay and organ meals dissected as symbols of outdated taste. Angelou didn't soften her stance. To reject such food, she believed, was to reject history, to sever the bond between people, land, and survival. For her, eating was cultural communion. Turning away from heads, feet, organs, or clay wasn't preference, it was dogma, a forgetting of roots. Even as global fame followed her, Angelou held onto that practice like a quiet manifesto. In a world chasing polished plates and curated appetites, her food choices stood as a bold reminder of memory, resilience, and a time when food was sacred because survival demanded respect. Kanye West. Kanye West, the rebel artist who ate crickets to conquer fear after a haunting family crisis. One of the most influential figures in modern music, Kanye reshaped rap, fashion, and pop culture by turning raw emotion into global impact. His ideas were loud, his risks controversial, and his vision relentlessly personal. But his boldness didn't stop at music. In 2018, during one of the darkest moments of his life, Kanye appeared alongside his father in a photo that stunned the internet, a plate of fried crickets. It wasn't a gimmick. It was a psychological marker. At the time, his father was battling prostate cancer, and the waiting, the silence between test results, tore at Kanye's mental state. Fear, fame, and the possibility of loss collided, keeping his mind in constant unrest. When the diagnosis finally turned hopeful, Kanye didn't celebrate with champagne. He chose confrontation. Insects, something most people recoil from, were placed on the table as a deliberate challenge. To Kanye, eating crickets wasn't about food. It was a mental experiment. By forcing himself to swallow something that triggered instinctive disgust, he tested his control over fear itself. Maybe he believed that if he could overcome this small but visceral terror, the larger demons would lose their grip. The moment spread fast, igniting debate about symbolism, coping, and extremes. It arrived at a time when Kanye was reinventing himself yet again. Music, mindset, and public behavior all centered on breaking limits. Sharing that meal with his father felt like a statement. Fear would no longer dictate his moves. Some saw strength. Others saw a need for dramatic self-soothing. Either way, the image stuck. From then on, fried crickets reportedly became a regular snack, no longer shocking but routine. In Kanye West's world, even bugs could be transformed into symbols, proof that fear, once faced, could be consumed, mastered, and turned into survival fuel. Alice Walker. Alice Walker, the acclaimed writer whose name is etched into modern American literature, also became the center of quiet shock for a deeply personal ritual, eating white clay. A towering black literary voice best known for The Color Purple, Walker has long used her platform to illuminate lives and traditions history prefers to ignore. Born in 1944 in the rural American South, she grew up in a world where land was more than soil. It was survival, spirit, and memory. In that environment, Walker adopted the practice of eating white clay, or kaolin, a form of geophagy rooted in Southern folk culture. For generations, poor black and white communities believed clay strengthened men, eased pregnancy, and protected women during childbirth. As her fame grew, the habit didn't fade. Instead, Walker spoke about it openly, choosing clay over snacks as a deliberate act. To her, it was never a craving or a quirk. It was tradition. Before eating it, she would pause to pray and give thanks, treating the act as a sacred ritual. In Walker's worldview, dirt was not dead matter, but a living source that had sustained countless lives. Consuming it became a way to honor ancestry and reaffirm the bond between people and the earth. Modern society pushed back hard. Western medicine often labeled the practice unhealthy or irrational. Walker saw that rejection differently, as proof of how dominant systems dismiss black folk wisdom and erase knowledge passed down through generations. Over time, her relationship with clay became more than a habit. It became a statement, a declaration of loyalty to land, memory, and identity. In a world increasingly detached from nature, Alice Walker's clay-eating ritual stands as a rare intersection of belief, culture, and resistance, quiet, defiant, and profoundly human. Grace Jones. Grace Jones, the rebel icon rumored to eat raw meat, a primal habit that sent shivers through the public imagination. She is an unmistakable force in music, fashion, and film, crafting a cold, gender-bending image that stayed decades ahead of its time. Grace didn't just wear art, she became it, turning her body into a living manifesto that reshaped global pop culture. Beyond the jaw-dropping outfits and sculptural poses, her lifestyle itself stunned audiences. From her earliest days, she aligned herself with wild, animalistic imagery, and her daily diet reflected that bond. Raw meat and raw fish, especially sashimi, were regular fixtures, chosen to keep her body in its most untamed state. Over time, stories of Grace Jones eating raw meat spread and hardened into legend. At different points, she openly admitted to using raw meat as part of her intimate life, notably during her relationship with Dolph Lundgren. For Grace, this habit wasn't separate from how she dominated space and emotion. Blood, uncooked flesh, and natural scents became tools of personal power, ways to shatter polite norms and dismantle order. Even at the height of her fame, the raw meat ritual remained her living creed. She believed cooking stripped food of its essence. By consuming meat and fish raw, she felt she absorbed pure, primal energy, staying alert, fast, and strong, like a creature in the wild. In Western society, where cooked food symbolizes safety and civilization, the habit was labeled extreme. Grace Jones didn't care. She rejected progress she saw as a mask hiding humanity's true instincts. Eating raw meat became her rebellion, instinct over comfort, nature over rules. In time, this raw diet image fused permanently with her legend. It wasn't a strange quirk, it was identity. A body fueled by raw flesh, a spirit always on edge, and a life that refused to be domesticated. In Grace Jones's world, even a meal was a stage, where power and instinct were performed without apology. Nicole Richie, a reality star haunted by cravings that weren't food at all. Beneath the flashbulbs and designer labels, a darker narrative quietly unfolded. Nicole Richie became a household name through reality TV and pop culture, celebrated for her posh image and fearless sense of style. From her earliest days in the spotlight, she was branded a fashion icon, chased relentlessly by international media eager to document every shift in her look and life. But behind the polished exterior, whispers grew louder. Conversations emerged around pica syndrome, a rare eating disorder that drives people to crave non-food items. Chalk, dirt, mud, even soap were repeatedly mentioned by experts whenever Nicole's health became a topic of debate. The mid-2000s, once the peak of her fame, also marked a period of dramatic physical change. Her rapid weight loss alarmed fans and fueled intense speculation. Although Nicole Richie consistently denied having an eating disorder, visible signs and persistent rumors kept the discussion alive. Experts pointed to extreme pressure, the fear of losing control, and the emptiness that often shadows fame. Craving non-edible substances was framed as a symptom of deep imbalance, where the line between self-care and self-harm blurred dangerously. As the years passed and Nicole gradually stepped away from reality TV, the pica narrative lingered as a haunting chapter of her past. It became a reflection of fame's darker side, where the body turns into a battlefield shaped by impossible standards and constant judgment. In the end, Nicole Richie's story was never just about shocking headlines or bizarre cravings. It was a glimpse into the silent struggles of a young star, proving that behind the glow of entertainment, some battles are painfully unseen. Questlove, a musician bold enough to eat bugs and turn shock into a statement about the future. Best known as a drummer, producer, and the creative mind behind some of modern music's biggest moments, Questlove helped shape hip-hop and soul while pushing artists into social, cultural, and sustainability conversations. When people think of him, they picture stages, drum kits, and landmark projects. But another image caught the public just as strongly: Questlove casually snacking on insects, crickets, grasshoppers, even scorpions, at packed food festivals. In the 2010s, at major events like South by Southwest, he skipped the usual gourmet plates and showed up with carefully prepared bugs, crunchy and boldly aromatic. This wasn't a stunt or idle curiosity. With global population growth straining traditional food systems, Questlove chose insects as a symbol of a different path. They deliver high-quality protein while demanding far fewer resources. He often pointed to feed efficiency. Crickets need about 1.7 kilograms of feed to gain 1 kilogram of body weight, while cows can require up to 10 kilograms. Those figures didn't stay on paper. He put them on the plate, turning meals into living messages. Over time, what once looked shocking came to be seen as environmental responsibility. Questlove openly said he was preparing for a future where red meat becomes a luxury and conventional protein can't feed billions. In that light, eating bugs wasn't bizarre, it was early adaptation. As crowds hesitated, Questlove took the first bite, boldly tasting the future. Mike Tyson, the boxing legend who stunned the world by eating raw animal organs, flipping the script after years of extreme veganism. Tyson is a heavyweight icon, a name etched into history through earth-shaking fights, championship glory, and unmatched, feral power. His life has always swung violently between extremes, from blinding fame to brutal collapse. After walking away from the ring's relentless punishment, Tyson began a radical physical reinvention. For a time, he embraced strict veganism, shedding weight, easing joint pain, and chasing a lighter body after decades of bone-crushing impact. The pounds fell off, and many believed he'd discovered a calmer, transformed version of himself. Then, in 2019, everything reversed. Tyson abandoned veganism and plunged headfirst into an all-but-forgotten way of eating, built almost entirely around meat and animal organs. Liver, heart, kidneys became staples, often consumed raw, without hesitation. He believed this was the fastest path to absorbing nutrients that ordinary cuts of meat couldn't deliver. No filters, no polish, just raw efficiency, mirroring the savage, direct style that once made him unstoppable. He added raw milk and raw eggs, convinced these untouched foods fueled testosterone, hardened muscle, and restored primal strength. The approach alarmed many, defying modern health warnings. But for Tyson, it was a return to instinct, a belief that the body thrives on the purest, most ancient fuel. Drawing inspiration from indigenous survival traditions, where organs were prized and reserved for the strongest warriors, Tyson rejected modern disgust for these forgotten foods. His diet became a reflection of his life, extreme, controversial, unapologetic. For Mike Tyson, this wasn't just nutrition. It was survival, his manifesto against conformity, doubt, and restraint. Beyoncé the superstar. Lemon water. Cayenne heat. Crushing pressure behind blinding stage lights. Beyoncé is a global pop icon, forever linked to flawless visuals, explosive performances, and a ruthless work ethic. From her earliest days to the very top, her rise was built on talent, discipline, and almost total self-control. But in the late 2000s, as schedules tightened and the glare of fame grew heavier, she chose a path that shocked many. Preparing for film roles and rapid comebacks that demanded an instantly slimmer figure, she abandoned normal meals altogether. Instead, she turned to a homemade liquid regimen promoted as a total body cleanse. For months, solid food disappeared completely. For nearly 6 months, the only things entering her body were filtered water, lemon juice, maple syrup, and cayenne pepper. Just hearing it burns the throat. Cayenne contains capsaicin, known to raise body heat and accelerate metabolism. In small doses, it increases heart rate and sweating. But when this mixture became her primary fuel, the body entered a state of prolonged stress. Days passed without chewing, without real nourishment. Only drinking, training, performing. The weight dropped fast. Her figure transformed dramatically. On the surface, it looked like a triumph for the stage. Beneath it was a body pushed to extremes. At times, workouts still stretched to 8 relentless hours while caloric intake hovered near zero. Fatigue piled up. Muscles weakened. Dizziness and exhaustion became constant companions. While fans praised the results as a fast weight loss miracle, medical experts warned it was dangerous. Living on liquid sugar and capsaicin strained digestion, hormones, and the heart. Still, Beyoncé endured it all to step on stage perfectly sculpted. Her story exposes a rarely discussed shadow of entertainment. When perfection is demanded, the body often becomes the price. Beyoncé didn't just control every note and every move, she mastered hunger, pain, and endurance itself to uphold the image the world expects. Serena Williams, the tennis queen who once made headlines for tasting dog food. A living icon of the sport, Serena ruled the biggest courts with raw power, relentless discipline, and a will of steel. Grand Slam trophies, breath-stopping finals, and an aura of invincibility carried her name far beyond tennis, turning her into a global symbol of strength and success. But in 2017, during a tour in Italy, something unexpected happened. While staying in a luxurious hotel where everything screamed elite and refined, Serena stumbled across the pet menu. One description caught her eye: salmon and rice. Simple. Almost identical to the high-performance meals she trusted for years. Curiosity crept in fast. In that elegant setting, the line between pet food and human food felt strangely blurred. She took a tiny spoonful. Just one. Instantly, the taste hit: sharp, strange, nothing like real salmon. Her body reacted within minutes. Nausea surged. Dizziness followed. Fatigue set in hard. The precise control she'd spent a lifetime mastering vanished. Hours later, severe food poisoning left her drained and shaken, her powerhouse physique suddenly fragile. That accidental bite exposed a darker side of luxury, where labels like premium and safe can dull common sense. Even an icon as disciplined as Serena risked her body for a moment of curiosity. The twist? After recovering, Serena developed an unusual interest in dog food, but only brands marketed as human grade. She's been known to sample them, even praising a few for their unexpected flavors. A strange footnote in the life of a legend, proof that even champions can be caught off guard and still walk away with a story no one forgets. Lupita Nyong'o, the A-list star who casually ate mangoes covered in black ants and quietly flipped the rules of high-end dining. From the moment she stepped into Hollywood's spotlight, Lupita stood out as a rare presence. With razor-sharp performances, prestigious awards, and a global reputation for elegance and fearless taste, she became a symbol of class, grit, and bold individuality. In 2019, Lupita attended a dining experience at Noma, the world-famous restaurant known for pushing culinary creativity to its absolute edge. The setting was pure luxury: polished tables, hushed conversations, crystal glasses filled with champagne. Then came the dish, a beautifully plated mango, thickly coated in large black ants. It looked artistic from afar, but up close, enough to make most diners freeze. Everyone hesitated, except Lupita. Without flinching, she picked up a slice, brought it to her mouth, and ate it with calm delight. No grimace. No second thoughts. Just genuine enjoyment. The moment instantly went viral. Later, Lupita explained that the ants weren't crunchy or unpleasant at all. Instead, they carried a bright, citrus-like tang that blended surprisingly well with the mango's sweetness. An A-list celebrity eating ants at one of the world's most exclusive restaurants, champagne in hand, savoring the bite like a familiar dessert. This single image shattered old assumptions. Eating insects was no longer framed as desperation or primitiveness. It appeared at the very heart of luxury, redefined as an elevated experience. Lupita even jokingly dubbed herself Ant Woman, a playful label with a serious message behind it. Her interest didn't stop there. She went on to seek out ant-based spices and ant larvae, praising their sour, tingly kick that wakes up the palate. She sprinkles them over salads and light dishes to deepen flavor. Food experts applauded the moment, calling it a powerful push toward normalized insect consumption, a sustainable protein source for the future. One small bite of ant-covered mango became something larger, a symbol of shifting food culture, social class, and the quiet courage it takes to enjoy something different while the rest of the room looks away. Tyra Banks, the supermodel who defined an era, also revealed a habit that stunned the public. From ruling the runway to becoming a powerful TV host and pop culture icon, Tyra helped shape fashion, beauty, and media, especially for Black women in America. She built an empire polished by discipline, control, and perfection. Yet behind that carefully curated image lived a behavior many found unsettling. Tyra has openly admitted she sometimes eats food scraps that fall onto her bed or floor, popcorn, cookies, tiny forgotten pieces left behind after late-night snacking, sometimes sitting there for days. When she notices them, she simply picks them up and eats them. Fame didn't erase the habit, Instead, she justified it. In her mind, eating the scraps is efficient, cleaner than throwing them away and risking bugs. She even compared popcorn to space food, dry, durable, unlikely to spoil. That logic blurred the line between clean and dirty inside her private world. But the behavior goes further. Since high school, when body pressure and social scrutiny began closing in, Tyra developed another unsettling response to stress. During moments of intense anxiety, she would pick at scabs on her own skin and eat them. Quietly, privately, almost automatically. To outsiders, these acts are difficult to process. But within Tyra Banks's life, they reveal something deeper, an overwhelming need for control. Control over her body, her environment, even the smallest leftovers others would discard. What most people reject becomes, for her, a way to feel grounded. Over time, these habits turned into coping mechanisms, dark reflections of the pressure beneath the glow, showing how she soothes herself when the weight of perfection becomes too heavy to bear. Snoochie Shy, the presenter who once ate a pig's uterus, left an entire studio frozen in stunned silence. A bold force in British broadcasting, Snoochie built her reputation on fearless opinions, electric energy, and an unapologetic personality. Rising from DJ booths to television screens, she became a symbol of confidence and boundary breaking in modern entertainment. Known for her adventurous palate, Snoochie has never shied away from pig-based dishes, including offal like intestines, liver, and heart. Always cooked, never raw, usually boiled or steamed, these foods were simply part of her normal life. But nothing prepared her for what awaited on the reality show I'm a Celebrity. Get me out of here. This wasn't a familiar stage or recording studio. It was a psychological battlefield designed to push contestants beyond their limits. As the challenges intensified, horrifying dishes began to appear. An ox snout arrived first, deceptively named yet grotesque in appearance, thick-skinned and sharply scented. Then came raw fish eyes, cold, slippery, and disturbingly fresh. Finally, the moment that changed everything. A plate of minced pig uterus. No disguise. No mercy. Animal reproductive organs, served plainly, broadcast to millions. When Snoochie took that first bite, the room fell into a heavy, suffocating silence. She wasn't unfamiliar with pig organs, but this was different. Not because of how it looked or how it was prepared, but because of what it represented. Eating a pig's uterus crossed a line beyond physical endurance. It collided head-on with instinct, morality, and deep-seated disgust. Rarely had mainstream television witnessed a celebrity confront such an intimate taboo so openly. As the competition dragged on, pressure mounted relentlessly, fear of elimination, public judgment, and survival itself. With no escape, Snoochie swallowed her dread along with every bite. Each challenge pushed her further past her personal limits. Though the trials eventually ended, the experience exposed the darker side of reality entertainment, where shock becomes currency, animal organs become props, and fame is purchased at the cost of mental strain. Snoochie emerged tougher, louder, and more defiant than ever. Yet the price lingered. She later revealed that the ordeal was so traumatic she avoided organ meat for 6 months. Ironically, the craving returned during travels across Asia, where richly prepared organ dishes proved impossible to resist. Behind the glitter and glamour, every celebrity carries strange, human habits that shatter the illusion of perfection. For them, food is never just about hunger, it's memory, pressure, belief, and identity in a world obsessed with flawless images. Among these 13 people, who shocked you the most? Which story made you stop and think? Drop a comment below. Your perspective might unlock an entirely new conversation. And don't forget to subscribe, so you won't miss our next deep dive into the untold stories of fame, the ones few dare to reveal.